Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the locker room. It's Super Bowl Saturday. Last night I had the ladies on, and let me tell you something. They had me really rocking and rolling last night, but we're going to go with what we got right now. I got a great lineup for you tonight, but just off the air, I was talking to these two guys right here, and they're college coaches. They have a regiment. On time is late to them, and on time is late for me, but we understand the high school guys got a little bit of stuff going on. But I want to welcome to the show Mr. Troy Griffin and Mr. DJ Mayo. Welcome to the locker room, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to be here.
Tron, tell the folks a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah, Troy Griffin, head women's basketball coach, Daytona State College, right here in Daytona Beach, Florida. From Jacksonville, Florida. Played football and basketball at Bethune-Cookman. Jumped into the college ranks after that. After my time at Bethune, started off at high school. Started out as a junior college assistant. 12 years as a Division I assistant coach. Won a few championships out at Texas, Prairie View A&M. Made my way back this way. Most recently coached as a Division I assistant at Stetson University, and then spent some time athletic director at Atlantic High School after Coach Mayo. And then made my way back to the sidelines at Daytona State. So I'm in my 18th year now of coaching.
Ooh, 18? Dang, y'all making me old.
Yeah, 18. So enjoying pouring into the young ladies, utilizing basketball platform to give back and be a light to these young folks.
Let me go over to Coach Shep. And I'm going to tell you something. Before we even get to Coach Shep is my dog. You know how I know why he's my dog? When he was 9 years old, he was in my Sunday school class.
It is.
His dad and I did ministry, and his mom did ministry for years. I've seen this guy grow. I'm very proud of Coach Shep. Come on, Coach Shep. Talk to the folks.
What's going on? He also forgot he taught me how to swim too.
Oh, yeah, in my backyard. You and Cedric Redwine from the
he used to give swim lessons. We was going to swim lessons.
I still giving them right now today. Yeah, I had some today.
Only swim instructor that can't swim himself. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm a 47-year lifeguard. 47 years. You ain't even 47.
No, I ain't 47, man.
Come on.
No. What's going on, man? I'm Aaron Shepard. I'm the defensive coordinator here at McEachern High School in Powder Springs, Georgia. I was recently, before that, I was the head coach of LaCroix High School. I was the head coach before that at Fort Pierce Westwood. Head coach before that at Jefferson County. Then offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams, all type of things before that at Treasure Coast. Played at Bethune-Cookman with Tron. Went against him a couple of times in practice. You know what I'm saying? We used to get after it a little bit. That was 100 pounds ago. Tron is wide receiver now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But back then he was in the 270s or so. You know, so just a little. Well. Yeah, man. But so I'm an old Wildcat myself. Excited to be on here with you brothers.
Okay. Now this next guy, before I even let him talk, I told him this one time before. Your mom and I were best friends. Do you know your mom was a statistician? Your mom kept stats. She was a 14-code dancer. I was the SID at Cookman at age 20. Mm-hmm. She kept stats for basketball. And I think she did basketball and she did some baseball. And she danced. Mm-hmm. Your mom used to keep me right at the parties too. That girl that want to talk to you. She used to be like, me and your mom were dogs, man. That was my girl. Ladies and gentlemen,
that was my best friend.
Talk to him, Coach.
Yes, sir. So born and raised in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm currently the head coach at Highland Community College. Like you said, born and raised in Daytona. Was pretty much raised on that campus. My mom was an original 14K.
Yes, she was.
She was married to Bernard Hawk, who still has all the passing records there at Bethune-Cookman. Used to go to the summer program. So I was pretty much raised on that campus. The first time I put on a helmet was his helmet on that campus. The old school, the white Wildcat head on the side of the helmet with a gold face mask. Cat. Okay. Yeah, the all gold uniforms for homecoming every year at Memorial Stadium. Yeah, I go all the way back there. My uncle was SGA president there, so my mom is an alum, my grandma is an alum. So yeah, so pretty. I've been a head coach at Chamberlain High School in Tampa. Was a head coach at Atlantic High School. Was a head coach at Warner Christian. I've been a coordinator at Spruce Creek High School. And actually, my first coordinator job was at Atlantic as well. Went out to Highland Community College at the DC, and our head coach passed away, unfortunately, another Florida guy from Venice. We're the same age, untimely heart attack. So I took over as the head coach, and we had 28 kids from Florida out there. So we keep that Florida flavor out there in the Midwest.
You know, when I look at all you guys have been head coach, but I want to say something. I was hoping Travis was on it, but I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. In 1984, I was coached by Wes Chandler when I was at Bethune-Cookman. Matter of fact, Wes going to be on my show after this one. And Wes gave me the whole playbook to the San Diego Chargers. I was a wide receiver. I took that playbook and I went and coached high school football in Pearson, and I coached at Spruce Creek. I was supposed to be the first black head coach in Volusia County in 1986, and I was blackballed. I moved to Miami after that. So when I see you, when I see Travis, and I see all you guys coaching, man, y'all just don't know what all happened before you guys had the opportunity to be a head coach.
Oh, I know. And me and Travis have talked about it. I'm very aware. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't feel I should have had to go to Tampa to get my first head coaching job. You know, doing what I did as an offense coordinator at Atlantic. I don't think Travis's first head job should have been in Flagler County. You know what I mean? But
you know, I never thought about it that way. Yep.
It's tough. It's a tough world out there sometimes, man. I remember.
And we're born and raised in Volusia County.
Yeah, it's a tough world out there.
I don't know too many better born and raised in Volusia than me and Trav. You know, how do we have to go outside the county? I got rejected by Atlantic twice before they hired me.
What?
I interviewed twice at Pine Ridge and didn't get hired.
Come on, man.
Come on now. Come on now.
I kid you not. I interviewed twice at Pine Ridge, did not get hired.
Hey, man.
I'm just telling you. I'm glad
the persistence of us really trying to keep pushing forward. But by me getting into that, what happened, it caused me to move to Miami, and it put me on my path to my destiny. Because I ran into Aaron was a kid. His parents, his mom was the youth director at my church. I worked up under her closely for like 10 years, man. John P. Key, all them groups that's out now that's old. Then we used to bodyguard them boys on shop when we was kids. Mary, John P. Key, all them, man, we used to rock them guys. Aaron has a great base and background in ministry because his parents was. But I saw him excel in high school at Coral Reef, and then he ended up at BCU. Tell us about your path a little bit, Aaron. You've been somewhere everywhere. You've been riding horses, gave away horses. What's up?
Yeah, man. So I was at Bethune. When I finished playing at Bethune, I started playing arena football. Played arena football for a little bit. Yeah, so I played arena football for a little bit. I played in Lakeland. I played in Daytona. Then when the leagues folded, I don't know if you remember back then, but the leagues folded, I went to Treasure Coast, so I started coaching. Irvin Jones, who's the head coach there now, I feel, was the D coordinator. We were at Father Lopez, so I was coaching at Father Lopez during off season and playing arena football during the season, working out a little bar, kind of still hanging out in Daytona. And he was like, "Hey, come down to Port St. Lucie. Man, you'll love it down here." You know what I'm saying? He was from there. He was from Fort Pierce. So we went down, we coached, ended up having some really good kids. Man, we had a kid named Jeff Luck. He was the #1 linebacker in the nation. We had some other good kids. We had on one defense, we had 12 or 13 kids that ended up being Division I players. So we were really loaded, man. We had a good team. We signed a lot of kids. I learned a lot from Irv, still do right now, obviously, and then I left. I got married and my wife got sick. She had cancer. So the insurance wasn't so good in Port St. Lucie. We ended up going to Tallahassee. They have a really good benefits plan up there. So we moved. It was good, She ended up passing away. And when she passed away, I moved back down south to be a little bit closer to family and get some things done. So I did that, moved on down south. I was at Fort Pierce Westwood, which was another good job, after Jefferson County. Had a good time. My now wife was in law school, and we had a baby. It was kind of tough. I was a head coach. I had my daughter Autumn from my first marriage, my son Trey, and the newborn baby as the head coach. And she was in her first year of law school, so she couldn't take care of baby. So it's kind of tough, me, 3 kids in the house trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up moving to Orlando. And I wasn't even going to coach, and God kind of worked some things out for me, man, and opened some doors. I just turned my resume in to be a dean at a school, and the principal was like, "You too good. You got too good of a coach resume. I'm gonna send this over to somebody who's looking for a coach. Hire me out of Coe." McCoy did really good, man, last year. When I took it over with 1-9 last year, we were Final Four appearance. You know, I was USA Today Coach of the Year, stuff like that. And McEachern ended up giving me a call, man, you know, and wanted me to come up and be a D coordinator. Kareem Reed, great guy, man, awesome place. You know, I never, and this is honest, I never once in my life thought that I would be at a place like this because I only saw it on TV. So I wish, you know, if we don't want to do it for another day, I wish I could just take you through the facility, you know, and see what it's like at McEachern High School.
I've seen that place. Matter of fact, you remember running into me at the gate at the Under Armour game in Orlando?
Yes.
And remember we prayed? You don't remember that, huh?
Yeah.
You remember that? I say, hey, it's another level, man, for you, man. You're like, yeah, I'm in Orlando. You know, I'm like, okay. But it's good to see, man, that you guys are doing very well. And I know it's abundance of knowledge right here. So let's get into the meat. DJ,
yes, sir.
You got one of the powerhouse JUCO teams in the nation. You know, recruiting.
Trying to get there.
How is recruiting for you different than recruiting at a D1 school?
Well, those guys now are going more for portal guys. They got to win right now. So there's different levels at Division I. So the Power 5 guys are going to get the cream of the crop. If you're a Group of 5 guy, well, they're figuring out, right? FCS D2 Group of 5 is kind of, they're all lumped together in that if they take a chance on that kid that the Power 5 guy doesn't take, if they take him and develop him for a year or two, he blows up, makes all conference, he's hopping in the portal, right? So for them, it's like, okay, if I'm gonna have a 1 or 2 year rental, I'm gonna go get a portal guy that's only got 2 years left, or I'm gonna go get a JUCO guy that's 2 years left. It's not that they don't think the high school kids can play. They just know if the kid blows up and plays quickly, he's going to move on. So for us, it leaves a lot of high school kids available who normally would not be. There's kids who would normally have 10, 12 FBS offers that don't have them, or they don't have committable offers, you know, because of the portal. And I'll get calls from 4-year guys that'll tell me about kids like, hey, in a normal year, we would take this guy. This year, we're not taking him. Or they may have a guy committed and the portal opens up and they get a surprise. They get a kid they didn't think they were going to get, and they put us on, you know, that high school kid. And we got access to the portal too. I just took 21 transfers at the mid-year. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's you know, we had some success. So we got access to a different level of kid now than we did before. But, you know, originally I wanted to recruit all high school kids. I coached high school ball 16 years, but I can't lie. Like, recruiting the transfers is just easier. Like, you know, some of the high school kids you bring in, you try to give them a chance. Like, between the coaches, the kids, and parents, there's a lot of time wasted nowadays, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And we don't have time to play games. Like, a lot of kids have the illusion of having a bunch of options. You'll have a kid a week before signing day, like, coach, I'm waiting on something bigger. Well, the portals, this is the second signing day. You know what I mean? Okay. If that bigger was coming, you would have had it already. You need to kind of be realistic. Exactly. Be realistic about your options. And to be honest, if a Division I school offers you January 21st, you're just replacing a kid they lost in the portal. You're a numbers guy.
Wow.
If you were somebody they wanted, oh, they'd have took you in December. They'd have had you on campus for spring ball. Make no mistake about it. So a lot of kids make the mistake of just signing with that big name, like the biggest offer possible, and then they end up in the portal a year later. You got kids, I can't tell you how many D1 PWOs are in the portal right now. Instead of taking that JUCO route, instead of taking that FCS, instead of taking that D2, right? They want to go with what sounds good on signing day, and somebody needs to get in their ear and tell them, hey, this is about getting re-recruited and getting a new opportunity. So I don't waste time. I'm not going to battle. If a kid's like, got to decide between like us and an NAIA, like I'm moving on to the next kid. I want the kids that want to go Division I. Now, everybody can't go, but if that's your goal, then come on and let's do it.
Now, everything DJ just said, what do you tell a kid before they even hear that, Aaron? You know, you got kids, you know, you got a great defense. You got some kids that can ball out, good size. What do you tell a kid about, hey, the difference between the portal, going D1, D2, or whatever?
So honestly speaking, man, when I talk to kids, I'm honest, you know, about the recruiting process, right? And I do a whole chart, right? I've done it always. We do it at McEachern here as well. And I kind of put it up for them. So there's some things that the easiest way to put it to parents is there are a few things that you can do. The first thing is if your son plays linebacker, right? Let's just talk about a linebacker. If you want him to go to Miami, go to the roster at the University of Miami and look at the size of the players. Before you ever talk about playing ability, look at the size of the players. If your son is 5'10", 185 pounds, and there's nobody at the University of Miami that plays linebacker that's 5'10", 185. So guess what? He's already eliminated. Let's start there, right? So if he doesn't meet the roster criteria, he's not going to make it. But there's also a few things that you can do, right? So you can have good character, right? But you have to make plays. You have to be athletic. You have to be big, strong, and fast, and you have to be a hell of a football player. Now, you could be missing one of those things. So a small kid that's smart, right? So if you're small, but you're smart, make a lot of plays, you're fast and athletic, right? Somebody might give you a chance. If you are big, right, but you're slow, but you make a lot of plays, you got good character, you got good grades, somebody still might give you a chance. If you are big, if you are small, and you are slow, they won't give you a chance. You can't be missing two, right? So those will eliminate you right away. So it's easy right there when parents kind of look at it. Okay, my son's not that fast and he's not that big. He's probably not going to get recruited. Those two knots make it a not happening, right? So we start there. And then going into the portal and all of that rest of the stuff, you have to be realistic. When coaches offer you nowadays, you have to ask them, are your offers committable? So you have to talk to them and say, hey, Coach Mayo, I appreciate the offer to Highlands. Can I commit to Highland? If they start hemming and hawing, because they do, they'll say, hey, man, you offered. Like, can I come, Coach Griffin? Well, okay, so we got to build a relationship. We got to talk for a little bit. That means no, right? So at that moment, you need to cut the fluff and go to the people that say, yes, you can commit. If you don't have committable offers, you need to work to find one, right? You can't chase Clemson if you have Highland, right? Because if Clemson wanted you, they would be at your door. The kids they want, they go get, right? You don't go get them. I promise you that. It's almost like courting Beyonce. If you get Beyonce, it's because she wants you, not because you want her, right? So that's kind of how it is with the kids. If they understand that.
Jay-Z's tipping.
There you go. Right? And so you get kids who have the illusion because of association, right? Okay, so if me and DJ play on the same team, he's got 30 offers. I go to practice with him. He makes plays. Eventually, it's going to come to me, too, because I make plays against him. But DJ is 6'4", 290 pounds running the 4.5. I'm 6'1", 220 pounds running the 5'1". We ain't the same. Now, I may get by him every now and then. I may make a tackle on him every now and then. But it don't mean that me and him are the same type of guy. And kids associate that by making plays with kids that they're 5 stars in practice. So they go to a camp and they be like, yeah, but I beat them in one-on-ones. Yeah, sure. Right. But that's not what they're recruiting right now, So you just have to be honest with them. But a lot of kids get caught in the fluff. So they get caught in, like Coach said, it's a week before signing day, and I've had kids that are a week before signing day and stuck. Right. One of the worst stories I ever had, I won't say his name, and I'll let you guys get on to another whatever. But I remember this vividly. He was committed to NC State one time in his life, right? He was committed to NC State. He was excited about it. The coach came down to see him in the spring practice, and he was like, man, I'm waiting on the SEC. He told the coach that he was committed to, yeah, I love it, but I'm waiting on the SEC. So, of course, what do you think they did next? Right? They dropped him. And the SEC never came. And then on signing day, he had nothing because he was still waiting on the SEC. So Western Kentucky, Georgia Southern, all these schools were trying to pick him up at the last minute still. He was waiting on the SEC. After signing day, he tried to figure it out. He ended up going to a school that was nothing like any of those places, chasing the SEC. And so, it ended up not working out for him, so that's the norm now for a lot of kids. There are a lot of kids who have offers early, won't commit, and then lose them,
So, see, Tron, you got a whole different spin. You got a whole different sport. You have kids that come to you that should be in D1. Maybe their grades aren't there, or they got a little lack here and there. So what's the difference between football and basketball for you?
It's very similar, just a different sport. Same beast, different sport. I'm dealing with a lot of the same things that DJ is dealing with. Having those conversations. We recruit a little bit different at Daytona State. For me, I want kids that want to be there. I don't want to be, I'll take JUCO because that's all I got. No, then you're not gonna work out of my program because we're running a Division I at a junior. So for us, we've done a really good job of identifying those kids. I'm like you, DJ. I really wanted to show love to the high school kids. I have relationships with these coaches in Florida. But it's hard now, right? When you're playing teams and, they got these kids that are Division I transfers, they got international kids. it makes it hard to continue to roster up with high school kids. So we try to put a limit on hours. I try not to be too young with high school kids. But we've been fortunate. I have to be real with kids. And I had a kid, one of my former players, I won't say when or her name, but very similar situation. Came to me to get a Division I offer, went on the campus, committed, and wanted something bigger. So came back after her visit and was like, Coach, I want to keep it open. I want something bigger, but didn't communicate that to the coaches. And then it got back to those coaches, and signing day, she ended up signing with a D2, and it happened like in the 25th hour. So it's one of those things, but I always try to make sure that I communicate and be very transparent, because I have spent 12 years at Division I side in women's basketball. So I try to be very transparent with my kids. When these offers come early, you are who's calling you. If you're getting calls from D2s, you're getting calls from mid majors. That's what you are. If you're not getting phone calls from the SEC, ACC, Pac-12, that you're not that player. And no, I'm not getting on the phone to make that phone call, because your numbers have to speak for themselves.
Talk about the internet. You spoke about the international players. How big is it for international players coming over and getting involved in what we're doing over here?
It's real ironic you asked me that, because we big on the internationals lately. I've actually, in this past week, I've got 2 international commits. I got a young lady from Turkey that's playing currently on the national team, and I had a
Woo!
That's how the
y'all gonna be humming.
Yeah, we try. That's the game, right? If you look at the top 25 players currently playing in the NBA, 10 of them are internationals. So the game is different. Yes, it's a little bit of a transition because it is bigger, faster, stronger here. But you can't teach IQ and you can't teach experience. These international basketball players have been playing basketball at a pro level, some of them for 10 years. The kid I had on campus yesterday played on the Chilean national team when she was, 13. So, a kid from Turkey right now overseas playing on a team in Turkey with 25, 26-year-olds. So, you just get a different type of experience when you bring an international kid, over, especially at the JUCO level. And a lot of it, too, is placement. I got some Division I coaches that, say, hey, we can't take this kid right now because their English score may not be this or may not be that. So, we try to give and take and help them out so those coaches come back and recruit from our program.
DJ, you have to have a Rolodex this big, I know, because of all the relationship with coaches around the country. Tell me what's the process daily for you when you drive up to the complex? You're at a JUCO now, and everybody's coming to watch your kids. What's your daily process when you leave home, you drive up to the facility? What's your process?
That's for me or Tron?
For you, DJ. For you.
It depends on. I had a little feedback, so I didn't quite hear the whole question.
Yeah, mine acting up a little bit too.
So, you want me to ask it again? What's your daily routine during recruiting season? When you show up to the facility during recruiting season, what's your daily routine when you got all these coaches coming in looking at the kids?
Right. So, sometimes they show up unannounced, so that can catch you off guard, because I do have a routine. Come in, we have our staff meeting at 9:00 every day, and we have our board. We have some stuff online. We have our board, and I have a board, a physical board. Just double check and see who you talk to, where do we stand with this kid or that kid, because once we get to mid-January, we kind of know where we're at with it. We've already watched and evaluated the film. But you're right. So in January, we were fortunate enough. We had 17 or 18 schools come through, like some unannounced, some announced. I had one school come, on a Saturday morning at 7:30, to evaluate kids. You know what I mean? But I knew ahead, and it was a head coach. I won't say the school's name, but but he let me know ahead of time that he would be there, so that works for me. It's all about getting the kids out. So, for me, my staff is very capable. So if I have to meet with coaches, they're capable of carrying out the processes. But for me, again, we'll staff meet, we'll talk about the kids, we'll make those phone calls, and we'll do what we have to do right now during this off season. We're kind of in our weightlifting and bulking phase, but the work is pretty much done right now at this point of the year. But like December wise, very similar calendar coming in, watching the film. I can't get to every email. The better way is if I have a relationship and you text me, some huddle links. Now I can evaluate them. Emails, I can't get to all of them. Twitter DMs, I can't get to all of them. But if somebody, Coach Rowland, for example, if he calls and says, "Hey, look at this kid, that's different." My guy, Coach Sneed at Seminole, if he calls and says, "Hey, take a look at this guy," yep, I'm gonna probably look at those guys quicker. Doesn't mean I'm gonna offer, but I'm going to look, or I'll send it to my staff. Hey, take a look at this guy, which we're still doing right now. All right, we're still going to take about 14, 15 more scholarship guys, about 20 more PWOs. So as I get film or links, if I don't have time to look at them, I'll send them to my assistants. If they like them, I'll take a look and we'll move from there.
What's more important for you, wins and losses, or seeing kids get to the next level?
It's culture, man. It's culture. So whatever it takes to get them to the next level, the wins and losses will come. I've never been about the wins and losses. Yeah, I've never cared. I didn't care about that in high school. Like, I've sat kids that I definitely have lost some games I probably could have won had I played certain kids, but 10 years later, they're texting me saying thank you. So that's the win for me. And anybody that's played for me, any parent, they can tell you, I'm not just talking. Like, it's culture over scheme all day, every day. Like, right now, I got probably 3 or 4 kids I might lose in the spring. They're going to be able to leave, and I'm not going to tell a coach, you can't take this kid. They came to me to try to go play at a certain level. And if they get an opportunity in May, they got my blessing. I'm not going to stand in the way of that, and then I have to go replace them. It's going to be tough, and it may affect my record. Like, I got 3 wideouts that are Division I caliber. I got a couple DBs that played as true freshmen. I got a middle linebacker that started as a true freshman. I might lose all those guys in May. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to stop them from going. So, if I got to go 0-11, but 10 of my guys go D1 in the spring, I'm good with that.
Tron, you talked about the number of years you coached. When did you realize that it was different and you had to change? You had to shift gears on your mentality as a coach in basketball. When was that?
Oof. I would say probably here over the last 5 years, we've seen a change. And I mean, the portal has a lot to do with that. We've seen a change just in the need that athletes have. I myself, I'm very much like, DJ in the standpoint. It's I'm in my 3rd year as the head coach at Daytona State. We've probably seen, in the 3 years combined, I've probably had, 100 plus schools come in, and see our kids, and I'm talking, Power 5 all the way down to some really good Division IIs. And the kids have just changed nowadays, and it's I talk about all the time with my players. They want what they want, and you have to make a decision on what you're going to be willing to give up to make sure the kid gets what they want. And that doesn't mean giving up your soul to give it to the kid, but I'm a firm believer. I tell my staff all the time, sometimes the coach got to look themselves in the mirror. I can't be so firm in my beliefs that I'm not seeing the evolution of the change of the game of basketball and what these kids desire and what they want. It's a little bit different in basketball. It's hard to tell a guard that's capable of scoring the ball, hey, we're not going to, put you in ball screen options, and we're not going to, run you off stuff. So you do have to kind of open up your mind a little bit on certain things. But to be honest, I've been fortunate enough to be able to hold on to my culture and a lot of the pillars that I believe and stand on, in our program. We've been fortunate enough to see kids have success. I mean, right now, my entire starting 5 are all committed or signed Division I.
Good. That's good stuff.
Since maybe October. We haven't, we've had some success at Daytona State, but I believe doing right by kids and understanding they're here for a good time, not a long time. So, when they get that Division I opportunity that they came here to get, it's time for us to go ahead and celebrate them, give them their flowers and move them on and make sure that they can produce at the next level. And that's where we put a premium with the change that kids are going through right now with this portal. Because a lot of these kids, especially at the high level, they come in with a chip on their shoulder because they already feel like they, have been.
They should be playing somewhere.
Yeah, they should be playing somewhere, or I should have been Division I, or this should have happened, or the portal. I had a conversation with my sophomores the other day. She was like, her mom asked her, do you think you would have been good if you'd have went Division I in high school? And she was like, nah, going JUCO, I needed to mature. And it made things different for me. I had to work for it differently. She said, I don't know if I would have made it at, the Division I. So now she's ready to go and be an impact.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to give each one of you guys a chance to answer. You always hear the word buy in. What is it you're trying to get kids to buy into from a JUCO route and from a high school route? You know, Aaron, you coached the you're defensive coordinator at different places, and you go to a new school. How do you get the kids to buy into, you know, your philosophy? DJ, what's your philosophy? How do you get kids to buy in? What does that mean to you guys? So I'm gonna give each one a chance to answer that. I'm gonna go to Aaron first.
So when you talk about buy-in, you know, it's pretty much putting your chips on the table. You know, I tell people this all the time. My favorite story in history is Fernando Cortez and Burn the Boats. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but there was an old explorer, and he wanted to take his crew out to go conquer some gold from another country, pretty much. And basically, they get on the ships. As they get halfway through, you know, the doubt starts sitting there like, hey, man, nobody's ever done this. You know what I'm saying? By the time they get to the beach, they land, everybody's saying, I don't know, you know, like, what's the plan here? So he looks back and says, hey, the plan is to burn our boats. And the only way we're going back is if we win and go back on theirs. Right. Mm-hmm. That automatically put the buy-in on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we here now. You know what I'm saying? We have no other options. You know what I'm saying? We got to go back. And pretty much having kids buy in is letting them eliminate all the other options and just doing what they want to do. You know, I mean, from doing what they want to do and getting to a team concept. In high school, man, you know, especially depending on where you are, you may not have a bunch of Division I cats now or college kids, period, that are college athletes. I know people like to say, you know, we got this and we got that, but there's going to be some successful teams in Florida and Georgia and California that might play for a state championship, get close, play for the Final Four, that might have 2 or 3 college kids, you know? And so you can't talk about just going to college. You know, you can't talk about just being a Division I athlete and having kids buy into that. They have to buy into who you are, what you're giving them, you know what I'm saying? Not selling them something, but actually showing them a real deal product they can benefit from outside of just Division I football. Because what happens to the kid that's an offensive lineman that's 5'11", 260 pounds, that can play his ass off, right? But he really can't go to college like that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to recruit him. So he has to get his grades together. He has to become a good man, to become a good husband in society. So you get them to buy into things like that. To get them to buy in, you have to show them yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to show them what it looks like, you know, on the other side. You can't tell them. You can't say it. Every coach says the same thing. If every coach was able to talk to players and get them to buy in, then all the coaches would have 1,000% buy-in. What happens is they see things, right? So they see that coach has my back. They see that coach will give me a ride. They see that coach talks to me about being a man. They see coach is a good man. They see that coach's friends hold him in high regard. They see that he makes the right decisions. When they see all of that stuff, then they fall in line with what they do because they see the success of the head of them, you know? And so that's kind of how you get the buy-in. That's how I get the buy-in. I just show them who I am. And by them accepting who I am and seeing who I am, they'll buy into what's going on.
DJ, you got a lockdown corner. Should have been playing D1. Comes to you. You know, wants to be on the island by itself, but you know your scheme different. How you getting the buy-in?
Man, it's the same in high school and college. Discipline and accountability transcend sports. You know, so you're one play away from never playing football again.
Right.
So and sometimes they don't realize until like 8 years later. You know what I mean? Sometimes they don't realize the method to the madness right away. But like Coach Shep said, they see like it doesn't matter if you're that first team guy or third team guy. Late is late, and F is an F. The consequences don't change based on how good you are. Yeah, we got a big game this week. Such and such miss. Such and such ain't playing. Like they are. Like my kids. Everybody that's played for me the last 10 years can tell you the consequences of all those actions. A miss, a late email from a teacher, they can tell you exactly what's going to happen. And that's how you get the buy-in. You don't fake it. You have to do what you say you're going to do. You don't have their back. So I can play spades with them, play video games. I go play basketball in the gym. But when it's time to get on them, I'm going to do that. But you got to have a sense of humor with them. You got to go celebrate in the locker room with them. You know, it can't just be bringing the hammer down. And you got to let them know this. It's about more than sports. So we haven't talked about football yet at Highland. It's February. We talked about goals and standards. You know what I mean? These are our goals, but these are the standards that have to be met. So they understand, you know, what we're trying to get out of them. So the play on the field, that will come last. So you get the buy-in, you know, they know, okay, if I don't do my job, I'm not going to play. It doesn't matter how talented I am. Okay, I'm showing up late. I'm failing classes. It doesn't matter how highly rated of a recruit I am or how good I was last year. You know what I mean? So they know very quickly that stuff does not matter.
You know, Tron, you got kids coming to you, and they should, like you said, a couple of kids should have been D1. Some don't play defense. Some can't shoot the three. Some can't shoot free throws. Do you lay out a plan for your kids, or you just allow them to play in your system, or do you lay out a plan?
First, I'll make a joke. They can't play defense. They can't play for me. That's the first thing.
That's first. Okay, that's your plan right there. They got to be able to play defense. Okay.
But no, we you know, our motto is getting to the business, and the business is everything that comes before the game of basketball. You know, our slogan: "You here for business, or you don't have no business being here." So when you see my kids walking campus, you see them in the community. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm getting to the business. Because they have to understand we're in a different climate, right? You know, a lot of these kids are going to go to major programs. I got a kid going to high major. She's already getting conversation, you know, about NIL and all this other stuff. You know, it's the landscape has changed to your business. You know, I coach young ladies. You know, I've got 2 daughters myself, 13 and 14, you know, so I make sure that my wife is always around and just, you know, showing them how to be young women. But at the same time, you know, I do have a lot of kids that come from, you know, broken homes, things of that sort. So I try to teach them about the standards of getting to business and everything that they do. So whether it's in the community, how they conduct themselves. No, we're not gonna wear a bonnet through Volusia Mall. You know, every time you
oh my God,
how you leave out.
Oh my God,
that you're presentable. Well, Coach, you know, ain't nobody. I'm not trying to impress nobody. It's not about that. It's the business. You know, you go to class, it's more than just sitting in the first 2 rows. You know, are you going to be engaged? Are you going to be smiling on the days you don't feel like it? You know, and Daytona State is a special place. It's hard to walk campus around there and be mad because, you know, everybody seems to be happy around there. So it is hard. But in every facet, we just keep a standard. And I do lay out a plan. I lay out a very specific plan for each and every one of my kids. You know, it's a little bit different, you know, from coaching at Division I and now coaching JUCO. Division I, you got hour limitations and stuff like that. You know, JUCO is, you know, it's a little bit different. You get a little more face time, so you get an opportunity to really develop kids and see the fruits of the labor. But, you know, we've all, you know, obviously Shep and I had an opportunity to play for, you know, one of the best to do it and shine.
Coach Wyatt.
So, you know, we saw the way that, you know, going about your business and being meticulous and having a way of doing things, being on time, you know, keeping stuff wrapped tight. You know, a lot of that stuff has followed how I run my program. You know, just making sure my young ladies understand that, you know, it is a method to the madness. We're going to get you to your goals, but the process ain't going to be always walking through, you know, the flower garden. You know,
That's true. Sure enough.
Hey, watch this. Next month, March 9th, I'll be 66 years old. When you're 66, you're not on the sideline no more. What's your dream job? Where would you like to see yourself at age 66?
That's Aaron. On me. You asked
Aaron first. I'm gonna give you a chance.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. When I'm 66, dog, I'll probably be on my boat. You know what I'm saying? So I did get rid of the horses. I didn't get rid of that boat though. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be on my boat. I might have a horse, depending on how my back is. You know, horse ride can be rough on your back, but I want to have a horse or two. You know what I'm saying? But I plan on being outside still. You know, I'm gonna hunt. I'm gonna get on that boat. I'm gonna get on them horses. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ride them ATVs. I'm gonna be hanging out. But I promise you, I will not be working at 66. You know, but I was blessed. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I tell you what though, that drive you got for kids, it never die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gone, man. I still got that drive, man. I don't coach, but I do stuff with kids. I mentor. I do a lot of that drive, that gift that's in you. It ain't going nowhere. You can say you're gonna go on the boat, but when you get off that boat, what you gonna do? So my thing is,
that's why I'm gonna have all the boats and the horses and everything.
DJ, you could be a GM somewhere in the NBA or the NFL. What would be your dream job at age 66?
I can't say that I won't still be on the sideline. I'd be lying to you. Like ever since I was 9 years old, like I used to take like little GI Joes and line them up in formations. You know what I mean? Like this is what I do. That's always what I've done. So at 66, if I'm not on the sideline, I'll be somewhere in the Southeast. You know, in a coastal city in the Southeast, retiring. That's the plan.
Shoot, Nick older than me. Nick Saban older than me.
Yeah, but Nick Saban's getting paid.
It might be middle school. It might be middle school. But they're gonna have to drag me off the sideline.
Tron, you'll be in Europe somewhere, right? Get your Yugoslavian team somewhere. You're the president.
I honestly believe I'll probably still be coaching, or involved with the game in some capacity, man. I love it. I've always loved it. In Shepherd, even playing football at Cookman, I stayed in the gym. I'm a basketball junkie, man. So it's in me. I got a 4-year-old son. He want to play everything with it that involves a ball. So, I'll probably be running around behind him or something at that age. I did tell my wife, I said, when these kids get out the house, I want to move to a big city and get rid of these cars. I want to walk everywhere. So, I'm big on fitness and stuff now. So, somewhere where I can, go walk and go climb some mountains and all that stuff.
There we go.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. We'll see. At that point. I mean, you got to think, man. When you
I got to you, I'm scared of that water. I remember I had a class. It was you, Cedric Redwine, and Riley Mosley.
I saw Riley a little while ago.
Riley's doing now. Riley's doing stage plays, man. He got an album out and everything, man.
Man, I saw Riley in Orlando, man. He came. I went to a spot that had live performances. I used to go every Thursday, and Riley came in there.
I know it blew your mind.
I saw he got on the stage.
But that boy can sing.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he can do it now. He can definitely do it. He blessed. But I don't know, man. When I get to that age, man, it just depends. I don't know. I mean, I'm saying it now, but who knows, man? I mean, but I do know that I do want to enjoy I want to be 66 environment so I can kind of enjoy it, enjoy the time that I have. You got grandkids.
I'm telling you, I love every single day. That's why I do these podcasts. People saying, man, wait. I said, I go down my Rolodex. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna find him, and I love doing it because I want to hear what you guys got to say. So we're gonna flip right quick tomorrow in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Super Bowl, whatever number it is. I know you guys watch NFL. I have a different view of sports now because I almost seen it all. And I had the ladies on last night, and one chick quickly said, "Hey, it's red. Point spread on it, la 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 la." She gave me her background on why she thought that. What's your take on NFL football and who you got tomorrow?
Who you gonna go first?
Tron.
Yeah, it's entertainment. It's
entertainment.
Fun. I definitely think that I was rooting for Lamar Jackson. I wanted the Ravens to make their push. I thought it was time for them. I definitely think the game
MVP.
The game has changed a lot.
Absolutely,
it is what it is, but it's still competitive. It's still good to see guys be able to perform at high IQ. I'm rocking with Kansas City. I love a good tight end. I am a Travis Kelce fan. Across the league. The Parham kid that's with the Chargers, he was at Stetson when I coached. So I love watching a good tight end. I think it's gonna be a good game. But I'm also a fan of the story. The entertainment line behind Purdy. A quarterback for the 49ers.
Last person drafted.
Yeah, like it's always good.
Mr. Irrelevant. It's not irrelevant.
This time of year to see those kind of stories unfold because I think it's big, and it's guys. It's a younger DJ Mayo, Aaron Shepard, Tron Griffin. It's a younger guy sitting in front of a TV screen tomorrow, with dreams and goals. Whether it's to play in the NFL or just to even play the game of football. That I think that makes it the most exciting. I sit down and watch it with my son and, we get that same experience. So I can always appreciate a good Super Bowl.
DJ.
Nah, I don't think it's rigged. I'm the biggest Ravens fan you'll ever meet.
The Ravens?
Absolutely. It wasn't rigged. It was a poor game plan. You know what I mean? You got the 28th ranked defense in the league. You get the ball to running back 6 times. You run Lamar Jackson 1 time. That's not Kansas City's fault. That's not the ref's fault. The personal fouls were not rigged. That was just, we call them DAPs. I won't say what that stands for, but it's dumb plays, basically. You know, it was self-inflicted wound. So, you know, the fumble, the interception in the red zone, it was self-inflicted wound. So I don't think Kansas City was a better team, but they showed championship pedigree. Their coaching staff said, yes, we have arguably the second best quarterback of all time, but to beat this team, we're going to hand this ball off. We're only averaging 2.5 yards a carry, but we're going to run this ball 30 times, and we're going to throw 15 screens. We're not going to take the sack. We're not going to turn the ball over and win this game. Baltimore, for whatever reason, even though they were averaging 7-8 yards per carry, decided not to run the ball. I don't know why. So tomorrow, I don't know. Like, Mahomes is that good. San Francisco has a better roster easily, hands down. But Kansas City obviously has a generational guy at quarterback. He's Jordan and cleats right now. You know what I mean? He's like young Tyson. So if he's gonna be Brady, like, you got to win some of these where your cast is not quite as good as the other team. You know what I mean? And he's capable of doing that. Kelsey's probably top 3 tight ends all time right now. You know, Kansas City's defense is legit. I mean, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. I'm looking forward to watching it. I can't call it. You know, I don't know if I'm ready to hear the narrative about Brock Purdy maybe being a better quarterback than Lamar or Josh Allen. Or, you know, if he gets a Super Bowl before them, you know, or living out there in Kansas, you know, do I want to deal with Chiefs fans for another 365 days? You know, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to the game, though.
To me, even though I played receiver, linebackers, most important players on the field. And the 49ers got some dogs at linebacker. Okay, Aaron, what's your take?
So rewind. I'm with DJ. I think that let's go back to Lamar real quick. I think they panicked in the game plan and did not go to what their strengths was. I think the OC thought he had to get points now and kept trying to get points now and kept trying to take big plays and lost itself, right? I don't necessarily believe that San Fran will do that with a better roster. You know what I'm saying? I think that they'll be able to put a good game plan together as long as Purdy doesn't, like, you know, fall asleep during the game. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll be able to put together a good game plan. Now, Mahomes, you can never bet against him. I think that Mahomes is he's like Nick Saban, right? You know, there's always a time, you know, that no matter who Bama's playing, I don't care if Bama's playing the NFC All-Stars. I just won't bet against Saban because there's always something that he's got brewing. He just knows how to get it done, right? So I think Mahomes is like that. I'm going to go with San Fran, but I would never bet against Mahomes. You know, I think that he's arguably one of the best to ever do it, you know, with the things that he does and the way that he handles the team and the way the team responds to him. And, you know, I mean, they lost their best player and didn't even flinch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they lost Tyreek Hill and didn't even bat an eye. Hey, goodbye. All right, Super Bowl, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even care. Right. So I think that there's a lot to be said in that. I think that they're a championship team. You know, a championship pedigree, like DJ talked about, is going to be hard to, you know, to do. But I do think that the better roster might prevail here because I also think there's better roster, but it's also coached well. I don't think the Ravens were coached well.
Okay, your nephew got him a ring, right? Michigan.
Yeah. He did,
people don't
man.
know that he was there. Tell us a little bit about his growth.
Man, Jaden is, I mean, he's a COVID kid, so he went to St. Thomas. He was it's crazy. He was the 2A player of the year when he was a junior in Palm Beach. He was a good player, State Florida 2A player of the year, 3A player of the year, whatever conference he was in. He transferred senior to St. Thomas to get more exposure. Ended up going to Michigan, right? He had a lot of changes at like linebacker coach and things like that, man. But he finally, you know, kind of figured it out. So he got some reps this year, got to play. He's excited going into the spring, you know, to have opportunity to be a starter, you know, do some things, you know, in that regard. I haven't talked to him about the change in the head coach. I do know that they loved, now I'm going to tell you something, they loved Harbaugh, right? So the thing that he said about Harbaugh was that no matter what it was, he was a get-it-done type of coach. So, like, whatever happened, he said that Harbaugh just was like, all right, get it done. Like, hey, coach, man, the kids are hungry. All right, buy 1,000 pieces, right? Don't even talk about it. Hey, coach, I don't know, Tron needs a ride. All right, call Uber. Like, let's not talk about it. Let's not discuss it. Let's just figure a solution to get it done. So the kids loved him because whatever they asked of him, whatever they needed, he took care of, you know. So I hope that Coach Moore can fill those shoes. That's a big, you know, that's a big thing to say. You know, them players loved Harbaugh, right? He did too. And so, you know, I had a chance to meet him a couple of times. I actually took Trey up there too. So me and Trey visited up there. I had another player that we got a chance to see, that Jordan Phillips, we got a chance to see it too. And we met him then as well. So I got a chance to meet Harbaugh as well. He's a good guy. But you know, he was excited. I talked to him the day after the game. I talked to him before the game. He was fired up about it. You know, Shay is at everything, so his mom goes to all the games and this year she really got a chance to get out.
Too. Miracle girl.
Sure enough, you know what I'm saying? She sure enough is a miracle girl. You talking about somebody who beat cancer. They took her ovaries out and grew one back. I don't even know how that's possible,
Wow.
right? Thought she had a cancer growth. Thought she had a cancer growth and went back in there, and it was actually another ovary that came from somewhere else.
Did y'all
Who knows,
hear
right?
that? Did y'all hear what he just said?
So I don't know. She is a miracle.
Wait, Shay was in my Sunday school class too.
Yeah, sure enough. So she is a miracle baby. She's a miracle girl, man. She's special too. You know, she's a preacher now. She's a pastor of a church in Belgrade. She's at the Life Center with Christ Fellowship, huge church.
Okay.
But like I said, he's a good kid, man. He does a lot of good things. He's tough. He's physical. He's big and strong. You know, I'm looking forward to the game this year that Michigan and Illinois play. You know, my son Trey plays in Illinois, so we get to go. Everybody's gonna go to that game and of course check it out. So that's a good deal
I didn't
too.
know that.
You know?
I'm gonna keep up with him because I got Antonio Robinson coming up on the next podcast, and his son was in second grade. Came to me one day and said, "Hey, my daddy played pro football." I'm like, "But get the heck out of here!" You know, no, go Google him. And come to find out, his daddy played for the Green Bay Packers, went to the Super Bowl, won a ring. He's gonna be on my next show. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Each one of you guys, man, means something to me. You know, I've been trying to get to trying. If I ever get a chance to come, you know, I'm gonna go off up and down them girls. But I want to say, DJ, I knew you before you was even born, man. Like I said again, I said last time, your mom and I were so close, man. We were great friends. I think her mom worked with my mom. That's how I met her. Gotcha. And she knew sports, man, and she knew stats, and she could dance, and she was like a little sergeant too. When she talked, people listened. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. I got another podcast coming up, but great podcast, great information. You're watching the Locker Room. I'll see you next time. See you guys.
All right, now, brother. Appreciate it. Right. Been good.
Yeah.